All right, let's dive into a story today. It's about health, it's about technology, but most importantly, it's about people. Two very different people who are dealing with a surprisingly similar problem. We're going to explore a concept called Vitasyntra and how it tries to get our health guidance back in sync with our actual lives.
You know, it all kicks off with this one simple line. She thought she was just tired. I mean, who hasn't felt that way? But this isn't just about needing an extra cup of coffee. This feeling, this thing that's so easy to just brush off, is often the very first clue to a much bigger and totally preventable problem. A problem that affects millions of us.
And here's the scale of that problem. 50%. Let that sink in for a second. Half of all pregnant women stop taking the supplements that are vital for them and their baby. And look, it's not because they don't know they should, it's because life gets in the way. This one number shows a huge gap in how we approach public health.
So let's meet the two people who are right at the heart of this story. Their lives couldn't be more different, but they're bumping up against the exact same struggle. Okay, so on one side, you've got Elena. She's 32, about to be a mom for the first time, and she is just drowning in a sea of conflicting advice online. All she wants is to do the right thing for her baby. And then you've got Arthur. He's 74, a grandfather who treasures his independence more than anything. Both of them are trying so hard to manage their health, but this system just feels, confusing and broken.
And Elena and Arthur's problems aren't unique to them. Their struggles are really just symptoms of a much bigger challenge that, frankly, we all face. It's like we're all trying to navigate this giant health maze.
So why is it a maze? Well, it really boils down to three big things. First, there's what's called the adherence gap. We get so many pings and notifications all day that we just get reminder fatigue and start tuning them out. Then there's the misinformation pandemic. I mean, social media is an absolute minefield of bad health advice, and it's almost impossible to know who to trust. And finally, you have the access barrier. Getting personalized expert advice right when you need it, that's just not a reality for most people.
So, how do you get people through this mess? Well, the answer proposed here is a new kind of health companion, one that's designed to take all these scattered, confusing pieces and finally bring them into sync.
And this is it, Vitasyntra. The key thing to get here is that this isn't just another app you download and forget about. It's designed to be an AI-powered companion. What that really means is its AI learns your routines, your life, so it can send you the right nudge at the right time, turning all that complicated health advice into simple daily habits that actually stick.
Now, this isn't just some clever tech idea. It's actually grounded in real, proven behavioral science. It's all based on something called the CALM-B model, which is a fancy way of saying that for anyone to actually do something new, they need three things: the capability to do it, the opportunity to do it, and the motivation to do it. Vitasyntra is built from the ground up to provide all three.
And this is where it gets really smart. Look at how the technology adapts. For someone like Elena who wants all the details, she can use augmented reality. Just point her phone's camera at the bottle and get all this info overlaid on top of it. But for Arthur, who just wants simplicity, all he needs is a quick tap. He just taps the bottle with his phone, using the same NFC tag as your contactless credit card, and boom, his dose is logged. The technology fits the person, not the other way around. That is so key.
Okay, so that's the theory. That's the what. Now let's really see the how. What does a day in the life actually look like for Elena and Arthur using this thing?
Elena's journey starts where she already is, scrolling on TikTok. She sees a helpful tip, which leads her to the app. There, she can ask the AI a super specific question about her vitamins and get a real, trusted answer instantly. Then, the app sends her a smart reminder, timed perfectly to help her avoid morning sickness. And finally, because she feels confident and in control, she shares her progress with her community. See how it's a full circle? From just being curious to taking action to connecting with others.
Now, Arthur's journey looks totally different, but it follows the same logic. He discovers a story on YouTube that really speaks to him. He doesn't have to type anything. He just uses his voice to ask a question about bone health. And then he gets this simple, friendly voice reminder every morning: "Good morning, Arthur. Time for your vitamin D." It just becomes part of his routine. And that feeling of confidence, it leads him to tell his friends all about it. It meets him exactly where he is.
So what does this all add up to? I mean, what's the ultimate result here? Because it's about way more than just remembering to take your vitamins. It's about a really deep emotional shift.
And this, right here, this is the real payoff. For Elena, she goes from feeling completely anxious and overwhelmed by information to feeling empowered and genuinely confident in her decisions. And for Arthur, he moves away from that constant fear of losing his independence to feeling confident that he can stay in his own home on his own terms. That is the human impact we're talking about.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. What if your health guidance wasn't just some generic advice for everyone? What if it was actually designed from the start just for you, for your routine, your questions, and your goals? What could change?